With cannabis edibles and extractables becoming legal later this year, there's going to be a wide range of new products hitting store shelves. With an exclusive look at what we should expect this October, we're joined now by BNN Bloomberg's David George-Cosh. You've got a great piece on our website with all of these details, but tell us what to expect.
So Canadians should expect a big laundry list of new products to hit the cannabis store shelves this October when they should be formally legalized. A total, to be exact, of 17 new products, and that ranges from concentrates, beverages, edibles, and topicals. There's a very long list. I'm not going to say what every one of these 17 products are, although we have something that you'll see up on our screen right there. But this is going to really dramatically increase the scope of the cannabis market here in Ontario. And we've been talking about for the past several months on the sluggish start. There's been supply shortages. There's been issues in terms of retail rollout. But now the actual amount of products we can disclose is going to expand fourfold from what we currently have on the market. That's going to be great for producers in terms of sales figures and the interest generated by that, but it's also going to square up the legal market with the illicit market. So there's been a lot of discussion how the illicit market, the black market, is still flourishing, but once you're going to have the same products that the black market already has in place, these will be formally regulated, hopefully great products that will be able to squeeze out that black market player and really generate a lot more revenue for these cannabis producers.
I have so many questions.
Please.
Okay, the first one is, I understand a producer making cannabis and then selling that cannabis. But when we're talking about chocolates and candies, are the cannabis companies we talk about, like all these hot stocks, do they know how to make chocolate? Do they know how to make candy?
They're learning too,
okay,
for sure, and we're
seeing. But they've got facilities and they're doing that.
And they are. That's right. One example I just want to bring up is Organogram, which is Moncton, New Brunswick-based cannabis producers, one of the top 10 in Canada in terms of their capacity. They've hired a specialty kitchen, and they're building a special chocolate food processing plant for this particular product to have cannabis-infused chocolates hit the market this October. And that's just one example. Canopy Growth, the biggest cannabis company in the world, is putting the finishing touches on their bottling line in Smiths Falls, Ontario. Afria down in Leamington has a very high-tech automated facility to process a lot of these concentrate materials such as rosin and wax and shatter. Descriptions you can read in my story. I don't think we have enough time to really describe what each one of these are. But there's going to be the second wave of cannabis products. It's going to be very exciting for the industry. And now we have a little bit of clarity on what exactly these products are going to be.
And then what about the marketing? Like, we did all this coverage around what the products could look like when we had legalization. And there are some restrictions from the government on what things can look like. We're talking about candy and chocolate. We're moving into an area where it's all about the packaging and the colors and the fancy titles. What's the balancing act there like?
Well, as it stands, a lot of these packaging requirements are going to be, that we see for flower products, are going to be set in place for these edibles and extractables. Nothing's really going to change as far as the proposed draft regulations go. You're still going to have a very significant warning label as well as a very large warning sign that this is a cannabis product, which is going to be bigger than the actual brand itself. There is a lot of lobbying going on right now between these producers and the industry and the government to see if there's a middle ground that they can say, look, we get it. We don't want to make sure that these products are going to be marketed to children. However, you have to be a little bit flexible in terms of how we can actually market this to the Canadian consumer.
This is a huge thing I think about. I mean, as much as there's demand for it, I do have this fear about, kids somehow mistaking this stuff. The other question I wanted to ask you, and I'm serious about this, a lot of the CEOs have said they're not cannabis users. Are they trying these products? Because if taste is important now with edibles, shouldn't they be seeing if this stuff tastes good? isn't that going to be the first thing that people who haven't tried edibles before think about when they're consuming this cannabis?
Yeah,
whether this tastes good or not?
It's like when you're the king and you have like a royal tester to make sure that the soup that you have isn't poisonous, right? You want to make sure that things are good. That's a hard question for me to answer.
They're going to be out there. They're going to talk about how great their product is, but if they haven't tried their product.
So I did a story a while back for the BNN Bloomberg website where about 2/3 of Canadian cannabis CEOs actually do use cannabis in some
so a lot
form
of
or
them do use
fashion.
it.
That being said, every one of these companies also has a very significant quality assurance department where there's someone hired, and their only job is to test all the cannabis products out there, the companies own as well as their competitors, to make sure that their quality is up to snuff, and as well that their competitors aren't doing better than they are. So there are people out there making sure that what they are producing is actually good product.
I was going to say, in fairness, like we were talking about Tyson Foods earlier, I didn't say, does the Tyson Foods CEO eat chicken or meat? But I was just curious about it.